Also, like Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe and you guys didn't fuck with the dad. None of you guys with Lacy or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you.
What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about Faze once again, who, if you haven't heard, they recently all just split from the organization. You have Adapt, Jason, Ronaldo, Silky, Lacy, all leaving from Faze. There's probably some more that I forgot about. Anyways, this all followed about 4 days of silence, and we really had no idea until this tweet came out basically clearing it all up. Faze Banks sold a large ownership stake in Faze, shifting control to new leadership that pushed 20% creator earnings, leading all the members of Faze to leave. RIP Faze Clan. Because if you don't remember, Faze Banks stepped down a couple months ago after a whole bunch of drama came out about him doing some crypto scam. But today we're talking about the responses from Plaqueboymax and Faze Banks, the only two people that seemingly can talk about this situation. Max opens up about why he actually left Faze in the first place.
But we had a sponsor, there was a sponsor for that day, and niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. Niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. There was difficulties with the sponsor. Yeah. After that happened, according to the assistants and staff of the creators, because I'm not gonna lie, I just really don't remember. But they said that Faze has pulled everybody for the rest of the month and sent niggas home early. This is the first time where in my head, I went, huh.
So Max just felt like the organization had too much control over the members. Just because they didn't do one sponsorship, they were going to get in trouble, and the organization had the power to do so. And I think this is really understandable from Max's point of view, because in a content organization, there's like two sides of things. Like there's the production and then there's the talent. But the reality of it is that without the talent, there would be no money coming in. There would be no organization, no clan itself. And Faze is famous for not giving its talent freedom, so it seems like they're just repeating that cycle. While Max was at Faze, one of the members introduced him to his new manager, and they also overstepped their boundaries with the manager that he hired.
Brandon had falling out with person who introduced me, and person who introduced me tells me, according to my assistant and my creative director at the time, who were sitting in on all calls because they're on my team, tell me I have to fire my manager and get rid of him or I can't be here.
It just seems like a pattern of behavior with the production team overstepping their boundaries and just basically forcing the creators to do things they're not comfortable with. Even though all this happened, Max stayed for a long time and things just kept getting worse. Because he was actually in Faze and like signed a bunch of documents and things like that, he's not allowed to just discuss everything openly. So he reacts to one of his cousins who actually worked with Faze that is allowed to discuss this stuff. And he basically just exposes the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to Max leaving Faze.
I'll give you one part. Gang, you see that little townhouse? You see that little townhouse that Max was in Faze? They tried to make that nigga pay 20 bands a month. What the fuck? Or give a percentage of myself. What the fuck? But Max is such a good nigga, he just, yo, bro, I just want to. And now niggas like Max look crazy, look like egoed out niggas. No, that shit not cool though. Like niggas taking shit on the chin, making him look like this nigga the ego monster. Niggas don't know the truth, bro. Niggas don't know the truth.
So after all that went down, Max went with Faze on vacation, asked his cousin to pack his bags and move it out of the Faze house. And when they got back, Max just moved out and started doing his own thing. And given all this context, it makes a lot more sense now. At the time, it did seem pretty shitty to do that to like all the other members of Faze, but it makes more sense when you consider that they're all their own individual people with their own individual desires. And Max just didn't want to participate in an organization that was going to have that much control, while the others were comfortable doing that at the time, I should say. But the most interesting thing that he says the whole stream is this one thing about Lacy when he left Faze. And that happened after Max had already left, so.
Y'all remember when Lacy got kicked from Faze? He really got kicked from Faze. He got kicked from Faze because, according to the assistants and the staff and the cameramen, they said that he had missed a video shoot or something. And we were missing video shoots. And so he actually got kicked from Faze. Granted, he was allowed back in a couple, later, because niggas all had combos, but yes, he got kicked from Faze.
To me, that was pretty crazy to learn, because I thought that was some dumb internet troll by Lacy. Basically, the main thing that Max is saying is that Faze and the leadership overstepped their boundaries and they just had too much control over the talent. But on the other hand, Faze Banks was trying to push this narrative that it shifted leadership and the new leadership was making decisions that the talent wasn't comfortable with. While this may still be true, Max is saying like that the whole time that the leadership was just doing some fucked up things. So Banks decided to go on stream, and in doing so, he completely misses the entire point of what Max was trying to say.
Again, I used my entire network, every dollar that I've ever made, everything that I've ever had, this brand that I built, I used all of it as leverage to start these guys as a content group and to kick this shit off with the sole goal and intent to bring Faze back to the top, which we did. We did that all collectively. Over the last 2 years, Faze has won Org of the Year twice. And yeah, I was the first guy in the room. Are all at minimum 10 times the size in terms of audience and platform now as before they joined Faze. These guys have all made millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Banks is really trying to have his Franklin Saint moment, like they wouldn't have this without me. While it's definitely true that they wouldn't be as popular, the criticism is that they didn't profit off of it as much as they should have, considering they are the ones that are solely responsible for it. Like, these guys have spent grueling hours on stream just to make the brand bigger, and they should like make the money from those streams, but they're just not doing that. Some of the criticism going towards Banks is a little undeserved because he's trying to make it clear that he never profited off Faze, which is a good thing, I guess, but you gotta keep in mind, he did just make the brand look worse when he did that whole crypto scam.
I have never made not one singular dollar via Faze. Not selling it, not buying it, raising money. I've just put myself further and further in debt.
Like, yeah, it's a good thing that he didn't steal all their money, but the funny part is that he keeps portraying it like he had a good relationship with all the members of Faze, but he starts getting real messy at the end and just exposing all the dirty little secrets that they had going on behind the scenes, just because Max made fun of him a little bit.
Laugh track over my tweet, and it's like, Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach. Your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer, and your community included, is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it. Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that fucking hated your guts after you left. And you know, you're the program and you have an ego the size, you think you're Travis Scott and this and that. And also, like, Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe and you guys didn't fuck with the dap. None of you guys fucked with Lacy or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But Faze was gonna fund a Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason, so fuck it.
Yeah, he's just trying to air out all the tea. The worst part is that they've all addressed these things on stream, and it's not even really a bad thing to not like someone immediately. That just kind of makes sense. But Banks is just trying to distract from the situation and like take blame away from himself. Banks wasn't responsible for the decision to make Faze turn into Hardscope, which is the reason that all the members ultimately left, and that's all true, but when he was still in charge, Faze was not that fun to be in. Max reacts to his tweet, which is what Banks was talking about, and kind of shows you what he thinks about Banks. I think it's safe to say that most of the members didn't really like Banks the way that he wants them to. He so desperately desires to be the guy that's in charge, but also to be respected. And it seems like he can't get both those things at once. Anyways, I just made a Discord channel if you want to join. The link's in the description. If you liked the video, you should leave a like and subscribe. I'll see ya.